right, we are back. We are ready to head on into game number 7. This is going to be exciting. I mean, from a gentleman's agreement of a best of 5, if it goes 2-2, we do an extended series to game number 7. Who would have thought we actually would be in game number 7?
Yeah, the players are talking about their mutual exhaustion, but they are continuing on. This is the last game. Who knows who's going to take it? It could be anybody's game. It's gone back and forth, so we shall see, and we are heading right on in. It is Polar Night. This is the last game of the night.
It is.
And whoever wins this game will be in Championship Sunday, and the other one will be going home and just having a great experience to be in a story to tell.
Yeah, but we have had a good number of games here tonight, and it is going to be in the the top.
The top.
That's weird. At the top of Polar Night, it is going to be wearing the yellow Zergy pants, Spidersayer. Spidersayer!
And
let's get excited, get some energy going here.
At the bottom in fuchsia and playing Terran, it is Yoshi. And now this is a map that neither of these players like, obviously. And the reason why we are playing it is because we have literally played every other map that is available. There is no other map to play in the map pool.
Yep, so they're like, well, guess we got to play that one.
Guess we're doing that.
As we were looking through previous games today to figure out which map it would be, I was like, well, we've played every map except this one. No one at all has picked this map tonight.
No.
Period.
This is the first game and probably maybe the only game, not necessarily probably, if we see another one. Yoshi being conversational in chat.
Yeah, it's way in the early game. I mean, there's not much to do, and so why not just get a little bit of your type on here. A drone going to be coming in and harassing the SCV right away. Another SCV comes up, but if he just keeps on attacking there, he's going to get the kill, and he doesn't. Oh, so close.
But moving back in there, he really wants to get that kill, and I don't blame him moving around, playing Ring Around the Rosie.
Yep. So it's late, guys.
It certainly is, and you know, these players are just kind of talking to each other, enjoying the companionship that only two adversaries locked in epic Mortal Kombat can have. Casual small talk.
Absolutely. Spidersayer opened with a 6-pool last game, and that turned out to be the downfall of him. He actually held in there for quite a long time, given the disadvantage he was at. I mean, that didn't work. It was a very huge map, but honestly, just a not a good map to do a 6-pool. And he did get fortunate in the fact that he did have a pretty good guess of where his opponent was, being on a 4-player map. But I mean, the best that Spidersayer has done is when he's gotten a lot of macro up early and in the long game. He has not done well in the short game.
Absolutely.
Which could be bad for everybody because Spidersayer's tired, Yoshi's tired, you know, but we're all here just keeping it going, and we want to see an epic conclusion to this epic series. I mean, it really has been.
Quite epic indeed.
But, you know, we said last time that, you know, Yoshi needed to change it up, and it turns out he didn't.
All Spidersayer had to do was change it up for him.
Yeah, Spidersayer has been changing it, so it has been keeping Yoshi on his toes, but I mean, his build is really solid, so not a whole lot has been able to happen. But, you know, I think Spidersayer doing a bit more standard opening this game is not a whole lot of
shenaniganry
going on.
Yes.
So, you know, yeah, it's just going to be...
Reaper is in the base, though, going to try and get some drone kills, and oh my goodness, Spidersayer is clearly showing that he is a little bit tired as he is shuffling around all the Zerglings. And there are all the drones. The Zerglings are kind of running around in opposite directions as where they need to go.
No more geysers to build extractors on.
Only one worker killed thus far. Second one does go down, but now the Lings are hot on the heels.
Oh, he's attacking his hatchery a little bit there. But the Queen is now out, so that will protect the drones from the Reapers. You know, this map is kind of hard to get your third base. I mean, the potential bases are here, and both are pretty significantly far away, and all of the Zerg units early game are fairly slow, so defending that's kind of rough. But I mean, also knowing what Yoshi usually does going into that heavy mech play, I mean, Hellions and stuff are pretty darn fast, so it's easy to get into those bases and do quite a bit of damage really quick. And,
absolutely.
You know, Yoshi, I mean, he's got a playbook. But the problem is for Spidersayer is that, you know, it's not an easy build to play against, because he's literally done the same build every single game.
Yep. And you know, one thing about Spidersayer that I will say is that the guy's got heart, and he has been, you know, I feel like when we cast him at VSG about a year ago as well, you know, it was a similar story as we've seen from him today, which is that he had to play all day long, you know. Ooh, great surround there. Does end up killing both of those Reapers, but everybody decided to go on gas there. Anyway, he got that all sorted out. But what I was saying is that, you know, Spidersayer has always had this fight. Every time I've seen him, he's had to come up from the back foot, play all day long, and play late into the night. And when in BSG last time, he did end up going out in a similar position to where he is right now. And he, you know, said, I would have loved to have played better, but unfortunately, you know, I was just so exhausted. And it seems like that's something that we're seeing from him a little bit right now, too, is that there's certain things that he ought not to be doing, maybe, but that is being chalked up to the fact that he's just so tired that he is, you know, just kind of hanging in as best as he can. But
Spidersayer is going back to a build that we have seen in some of the previous games that did work out for him quite well. He got a pretty quick Roach Warren and 6 to 7 Roaches, and then going back to droning while getting his layers. So he's going to go out and do what he can with these Roaches and then fall back and make Mutalisks.
But Yoshi has got, again, just an impeccable defense here. There's 2 mines. There is the bunker. The bunker has a Marauder in it, so it's like he knew he got the number right away. I mean, this is exactly what you'd want to have against Roaches, and the Roaches just kind of running in, but it's not going to get a whole lot done. So those Roaches all get cleaned up, and now there's really nothing here to be able. I mean, he's got, what, 1 Roach on the map?
Yeah, the thing is Yoshi does not have his number of Hellions yet. I mean, he is just getting the factory up on the reactor and going right for tanks rather than getting a couple of Hellions first. So he's going to produce 2 Hellions out of this factory as it finishes with the reactor. Oh, maybe. Starts one and is waiting on some money to start the second one. But, you know, now the Spire is on its way. You know, this actually could be good for Spidersayer. The fact that, you know, he's getting very fast Mutalisks, and Yoshi is going to be going for a Thor here after this tank, most likely. Blue Flame is going down as well, and Medevac by itself being produced out of the single starport, and as soon as his army finishes, a Thor going to be coming. Wow, even had the exact amount of minerals he needed to make that. So he needs to get these Mutalisks out relatively quickly, and he does the scan, and as per usual, sees that Spire, so this is already looking bad for Spidersayer. In these previous situations where he has done this same build and gotten scanned, it hasn't turned out all that well.
There is a single Roach to chase away these Hellions, and so he's going to be able to push those back, and hopefully, you know, he's going to be able to rally here and get the Mutalisks and put up a decent fight. But sure enough, Yoshi getting those missile turrets right away, getting ready for the incoming onslaught that is going to be the Mutalisks. And again, once again, we're seeing this Medevac loaded up with 2 Hellbats. It's been so effective for him this, I mean, pretty much every game he's gotten a decent number of kills.
These Mutalisks are just now popping, so depending on which path they take, they could either intercept it or go around it altogether, but they're going to be coming over to kill these 2 Hellions here. But oh, and he does have an Overlord there, so he does see this Medevac coming in, so if he can get these Mutalisks back, or maybe he didn't see it. I mean, there is another Medevac coming over, and he is going to intercept that, so that one is going to go down, which does help him out. But there really isn't any. There is the Spine Crawler and there is the Queen, but that's not going to stop these Hellbats from doing a decent amount of damage. To get these drones out of here right away. He's moving those Hellbats in a good location to be able to get the drones as they come out. Spine Crawler does take one of them out.
And that does end up getting cleaned up.
There's a decent. Oh, there's a mine and a turret. That's so scary, Gallegation.
It is very scary. And Spidersayer, you know, clearly, I mean, this isn't the number of Mutalisks that he would like to have. He's not on the number of bases that he'd like to be on. He just, you know, just doesn't have the things that he wants at the moment.
He's steadily increasing his drone count, though, and making a huge wave of drones here, replacing some of the ones those Hellbats took out, and also saturating his 3rd base. And he's going to be getting the gas geysers filled up here, so I mean, he's not doing too bad. He has been able to. The big thing that's hurt him in this situation is those Hellions have come in and just ravaged a base, and so far that hasn't been the case. He's had a Roach or 2 handy when necessary to head those off, but I mean, now's the time where he needs to get in there and he needs to do something, because this mech is starting to come together. He has 2 Thors loaded up on medevacs here right now.
And he's getting ready to kind of move wherever he wants. 2 more Hellbats loading up into a medevac, heading over. The Thors are being transported down near the natural. And Mutalisks continue rallying around the map. Zergling's running around. He just wants that vision everywhere, but those Hellbats are going on out undetected. Again, he does have that spine crawler in that third base, but he doesn't have a queen there right now. So these are going to get a few more kills than normal. And sure enough, they drop, and great reaction, though. Yeah. Mutalisks coming back. Not a whole lot of drone kills being done, and Hellbats are getting cleaned up. Scan in the main base, trying to see what's going on. Does see that the ground upgrades are going. Can't tell which one they are.
I'm going to say something crazy here. There's only been 13 workers killed by Yoshi. And while that seems like a lot, it's a heck of a lot less than 50.
That's absolutely true.
Because in similar situations like this, that's what it's been. Yoshi's gotten Hellbats in, Hellions in, all over multiple bases, and gotten 50 drone kills. But oh my gosh, these medevacs are... Oh, those Mutalisks were headed down here, and these has 3 Thors loaded up in medevacs, and the turrets were not complete yet.
No, but he was able to unload and fend that off.
No, they're still there. They're just hovering over this base.
Well, he reloaded them back up after they dropped him to defend.
So the Mutas are going to try and swing around and get whatever done they can, but I mean, Yoshi is just on top of those turrets. He just puts them all over the place and is getting mines around as well. Killing a few transfer of SCVs around. Does try to get...
Oh! And both of the Thors are able to drop. The medevacs do get picked off, but those are not the important unit of those compositions.
That was really close, though.
Yeah, it absolutely was. Great play there by Yoshi, getting those out of there before the medevacs did die.
But Spidersayer is getting to, he's eventually working himself to the position he wants to be in. He's got the rock skill now. He's on 4 bases. He's going to get a 5th here soon. Yoshi is stuck on 3. I mean, he did just set this 3rd base up, too. But Spidersayer does know that the rocks haven't even been attempted to be taken down in the back, and 2 Zerglings on the left side, so that he knows there's no base there. So this is actually the position he wants to be in. Gets this 5th base up, gets a decent number of Mutalisks on the map to keep the bases down, and then go into some kind of meaty unit like Ultralisks or Vipers, or maybe we haven't seen any Vipers.
But there is a small strike force of Hellbats and a Thor coming to attack this 3rd base, and the Hellbats have arrived ahead of time. That the spine crawler is going to drop, but the Hellbats are now trying to run back. Spidersayer easily able to clean those up, and now magic boxing over the Thor, going to get all the damage done and is able to clean that up. So the drones are going to be heading back to that base to resume their mining duties, and Lings are continuing to run around trying to get attack paths, trying to get scouting done.
I'm not sure what those Lings were doing. It looks like they may have just been trying to pull Yoshi out of position a little bit, because he does have those sensor towers, so he knows where all the movements are. With the slow, immobile units, I mean, he's just trying to run around just to keep him busy watching the map, it looks like.
And that, isn't a bad strategy necessarily. If the more actions that you can distract out of your opponent, the better. As you only have so many of those. That actions per minute is a resource as much as minerals or gases.
Indeed it is, and Spidersayer is getting up to where he wants to be. The Hive is coming down, so we're going to see, once that Hive finishes, Greater Spire, Corruptors, and moving into the eventual Broodlords. And that's, looking at this game, and given that these players' builds are fairly refined and what we've seen in the past, I'm favoring Spidersayer right now.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. There are Thors here. 2 came in via drop, and these Mutalisks are trying to just take care of everything. They're trying to deny this base, and Spidersayer really has to deny as many bases as he's able to. He's got to keep the contain going.
Taking a couple shots there. One Muta does go down, and so does another. But yeah, he's doing a good job of denying this so far. But another wave of 15 Mutas coming in, so if he can get that rallied up with the existing Mutas he has and move down here, I mean, 2 Thors is not much to take out, but there are 4 missile turrets going down.
Hive Tech is activated, so he's going to be able to get that level 3 carapace and melee upgrade, getting the Greater Spire, and that, I think, is what's really going to cinch it for him if he's able to pull this one out, is having that Greater Spire and being able to move forward with those Broodlords. As it's very difficult for Yoshi to handle that type of aggression, and if you look at the number of structures that they have, I mean, he's only got 2 starports, and one is on a tech lab, so he's not going to be able to do huge amounts.
These Mutas are getting so low. They're all in the orange, and the Thors are get back.
Oh no, Hunter Seeker Missile, that was pretty big.
Actually, that was probably the best hit he could have hoped for. He did lose quite a few mutas, but it could have gone way worse.
Absolutely.
Scan goes down, sees the hive. I mean, this is honestly a later scan than usual. Usually he scans when the hive is going down, so he's going to be surprised to know that Greater Spire is almost done. Adrenal Glands is almost done. 3-3 is almost done, and he's on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases.
So Spidersayer is playing to the maximum of his ability. He's playing in his zone, it seems, and he's getting the upgrades that he wants. So these Broodlords are going to be coming out relatively soon. He's got
amazing job by Spidersayer, moving in only a few lings to trigger those lings off. But there is a planetary fortress there, so he's not going to be able to run in with too much. But he's taking his 6th base now and 7th base. This is the Spidersayer that we've seen that has won games. And what's your thoughts, Gallegation?
Well, he's getting
things to say here.
Spidersayer is morphing in all of these banelings, but Yoshi is well aware of what's happening over there. He did get the scan off, and you know, I'm not entirely sure why we haven't started to see the Corruptors come out just yet. It looks like he's got some other plans, moving these banelings in and trying to get what hits he can. There's only one siege tank here.
There is a Hunter Seeker missile going out, and it does.
A couple of those are going down, but I mean, these banelings are sitting over there. They're ready to go.
Actually, really
looks like he's going to try and pull back.
Surprised at how fast those mutas are, that those Hunter Seeker missiles were actually able to keep up like that.
Yeah, you know, I mean, they were relatively close to those Ravens when he got them off, and I don't think Spidersayer was able to necessarily separate the sick ones from the pack, if you will.
Yeah, there are 4 Hellions trying to make a swing around to one of the bases of Spidersayer. Lings mostly able to clean that up, Queen be able to clean it up the rest, but more Mutalisks still have not seen Corruptors, still have not seen the Broodlords, but it could be literally any moment that Spidersayer switches into that, because he's got a lot of mutas here and a lot of Overseers, but yeah, these missile turrets, so many missile turrets, this is not a good engagement.
Yeah, Spidersayer is just really looking for that advantage. He's trying to find that edge. Yoshi continuing to just move single units around, trying to get what harassment done he can, and this Hellbat is just killing larva, basically. As soon as the larva pops, it immediately gets killed.
I mean, he's just trying to find bases that he can take. All the bases are taken right now, except for the back base, which, you know, would be the most secure for him, because it's nearly impossible to get to it, let's be honest.
Yeah, at this point.
But the rocks are there, and you know, he doesn't want to pull his units back to kill the rocks, because that's exactly when Spidersayer would move in.
But, I mean, not taking that base, I think, is actually a really smart move, because if he can move forward. He can start to push his line up, his aggressive line.
Big Baneling bust into the original 4th base. Lots of things go down.
Yeah, there was a lot of infrastructure that ended up getting taken out. The Banelings did their job. But geez, oh Pete's, look at all those Hellbats going at that left-hand base. And as I was saying, you know, it makes sense for Yoshi to be trying to push up or push closer to his opponent, try and spread his defensive line so he can slowly grow his offense.
Called out of position here. Ravens coming in. A lot of energy on those Ravens. A couple Hunter Seeker missiles should come out, but no, it looks like not. These mutas do need to pull back to heal themselves back up.
And 14 more Mutalisks in production. It looks like he's going to try and take down these Hellbats. Those Hellbats were able to clean up that base. And suddenly Yoshi's looking pretty powerful again.
You know, the thing that's different, though, is Yoshi only has 1/1 upgrades on his mech.
That is definitely a different... Oh, that's not true. He's got the vehicle weapons level 3 on the Thors.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. I think you just clicked on one of the Vikings.
Looking down here in the bottom panel, and I didn't see the attack, but yes, he does have 1/1 for the air and 3/1 for the Thors. But I mean, you know, while the attack is great, still only having 1 armor against what is going to be 3/3 melee units here shortly, as Ultralisks are coming out. That's going to be the choice. So he's opting away from Broodlords this time and going for Ultralisks. Not a bad choice.
Well,
that chitinous plating 5 armor is extremely good against all types of units.
When you see all the Vikings that are on the field, you know, it does make sense to not go the Broodlords and try and opt for a different tech choice, and that is going to be good. This is a huge engagement here. The Mutalisks are magic boxing. All the Thors are down. The Banelings and the Zerglings have rolled in, and so a lot of the army supply has dropped now for Yoshi.
2 Hunter Seeker missiles attached to...
Oh, but he gets them out of there. Perfectly done. He separates the sick from the pack, but it doesn't match. So many mutas. Oh, my goodness. 19 more Mutalisks in production. And
I mean, this is the point where Spidersayer can start throwing things away, but he does not want to be too overzealous. I mean, he does not have the gas to make a huge replenishment of these expensive units. He's got a ton of minerals. I mean, he needs to start throwing around some Zerglings and stuff, but he's got to start saving up that gas. He's got all these bases here that he needs to be mining gas from. He needs to be putting gas down at this base.
Yeah, you know, he's got to be really careful, like you're saying about those gas units. He can't continue to lose them as he has been. Chitinous plating going down, Zerg Flyer attack level 3, so it looks like he's going to continue on this Muta push and attempt to get some of those Ultralisk into the fray as well.
Quite honestly, right now, I think Spidersayer needs to just chill a little bit and sit back and not lose all these Mutas to the...
Oh, man. Vikings, so many Mutalisks being lost.
Didn't get out of there with quite a few of them, but now he needs to be sending the Zerglings in to deal with these Thors because that's really what is going to be good. He makes 30 Zerglings, so that's a great move by him. You know, the Hellbats are being whittled down. The Raven's not going to be good against light, small units, you know, but he doesn't have the gas to go crazy with the Ultralisk yet. He is saving up for it, though, getting close to 1,000 gas, 5,000 minerals. So, you know, if you're going to start throwing away the minerals.
Yep, start making those spine crawlers like he's doing. He's got to defend a lot of these bases. If he allows Yoshi to continue to take bases, to continue to expand and move forward that offensive line, then this is going to be very difficult for Spidersayer to come back from.
Yoshi is getting up close to 200 food, and you know, Spidersayer is making a ton of Banelings right now, so he is not saving that gas. He is going to get that on in there. Oh my gosh, this is not looking good for Spidersayer Banelings. I don't know the choice on this, but we'll see. They are 3-3 with lots of...
in they go up against all those Thors. Thors evaporating.
The Thors go down, but there's still a lot of Ravens, and where's the Mutas?
Ravens and Vikings, oh my. There's only 13 Mutalisks on the map, and they are kind of hovering off in the corner because they know they can't engage that.
12 more Mutalisks in production, 22 more Zerglings in production.
2 tanks hitting the base on the left side, the main army hitting on the right. Spidersayer is really having a tough time dealing with this.
I think Spidersayer got a little over-ambitious there with a couple of those engagements with the Mutalisks, but taking out a couple of the Vikings now, these other Mutalisks are about to pop, so it now needs to get a couple really good engagements here. He does have a bunch of Zerglings, so what he does with those would be the important bit.
And I mean, this is just a huge number of Ravens, huge number of Vikings. 10 Ravens, 8 Vikings, and you know, the Mutalisks, going right through them. That can't be exactly what he wanted to do. All the Mutalisks are falling. He's down to 6, even after the resupply, and just flying them right in the middle here. He's clearly being fatigued and not clicking correctly where he wants to. He's got to be really frustrated with what's happening right now.
And 200 supply now for Yoshi, and he's got the composition he wants, and now is even on bases and going to be taking the lead here as he pushes on up in here. There are a lot of auto turrets down here, a few Lings trying to clean them up, but Spidersayer, you know, he's got...
Oh no, even the Zerglings taking huge mine hits, losing half of them there. And, you know, this may be the swan song for Spidersayer, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, he has a huge bank of minerals, but he just can't spend them. 3 Ultralisks on the way, 20 Banelings. Not sure what this is going to be able to do against all these Ravens alone.
And just tank shots and mine shots.
Oh, all the Banelings pop. Now we get to see what all the auto turrets go down. Banelings move right through him. Splits on the Thors. All the Banelings on one Thor, but don't even get one kill.
I mean, they've got 3-3 on those Thors. They're just so strong now that they've got the all the armor upgrades, and it's just so hard. And there's the GG well played.
That is an epic ending to an epic series. It is going to be Yoshi winning the best of 7 late at night. Everyone is fixing their cameras. Everyone is exhausted, tired. I mean, you could really see fatigue coming into play in this game. I mean, this feels like the grand finals, but it's not.
It is not. No, we've got plenty more games coming at you tomorrow.
Both of these players just showing excellent fortitude and good sportsmanshippery.
Absolutely, just very mannered guys, and I think we'll check with them to see if they want to have any closing remarks for the night to chat with you guys. I would fully understand if they were just like, I need to leave now.
Yeah. But we'll take a quick break here and be right back with that.
Yep. Stay tuned for just a few more seconds.